Shalom Akim Wa'akwaf, first and foremost. Call Loyim Wakaba, La Yahweh Ba'ashim, Yahushai Ba'ashim, Abrachakwadash. Double honor to the elder apostles of the great millstone who rule well. And as always, peace, blessings, and salutations to the hopefully let tabernacle of David scattered throughout the four corners of the earth. Now, I just want to make a quick response to this performance from Eddie Griffin. You know, he's one of the underrated comedians, which he got material out there that he's known for. Especially like if you watched some of his earlier stand-ups, like going back to the 90s and in the early 2000s, he would make jokes about the Bible and um, you know talking about the stories in the scriptures, talking about Moses and Egypt and Pharaoh and uh, the Lord Himself and the apostles. Which some things because these comedians, this is what they got to do. They got to say shit for shock value. They'll say things that are borderline blasphemous, just to rile you up. But in the midst of that, they'll try to sprinkle a little bit of truth in there, and he's always been known to do that. And another thing that he always brings up in a lot of his bits, even going back to the '90s, is how we know that Esau, he knows that he has it coming, and I mean basically him receiving vengeance, that recompense for all the wickedness that he's done against us. All right. He always joke about how, basically Esau, what you did to us, as a nation, as a people, is going to come back upon him. But he says it in jest, he makes a joke about it and it's funny. All right. And this is like one of the latest bits that he did, which this was actually a year ago. I think he might have done, more since then, but this is one of the most recent bits where he actually mentions or goes into that controversy dealing with Esau being paid back for slavery, captivity. All right, and you're gonna hear it, and I'm gonna play just a part of the video, just a little small segment of it, and we definitely gonna get some scriptures that back it up. All right, so without further ado, let's listen.
Let's come up on you, Stephen, Sally, Bill, and Bob. Now I can see if you and y'all brought your white friends. You can't save them from themselves if you wanted to. Because if karma is real, and it is real, y'all karma bank is full. These the same people that stole us from Africa. Brought us over here, whooped our asses. Gave us new names, gave us jobs without pay.
Yep, and that's why the scriptures say, because of his violence done against us, shame shall cover him. Let me get that real quick. Because even these comedians, even some of the Edomite comedians, they bring up, their history and what they've done against the so-called black man and black woman, the Judite uh, man and woman, and they'll make jokes about it, but you can tell that they have a guilty conscience, but they'll mention it in comedic form. Like I wonder, was it Bill Burr? It was one of them white comedians. It might have been Louis C.K. One of them white comedians, where he's basically alluding to how it's a blessing. It's good to be a white man. You can go back in time in history, and you run the world, but you don't want to go into the future, because if they got to pay for what they did in the past, then the future is fucked for them. And I forget which comedian mentioned it, but they know, man. Let me get Obadiah. I believe it's the 15th verse, if I'm not mistaken. Obadiah. Well, this is verse 15. Let me go up. I think it's in the 10th verse. Yeah, Obadiah verse 10, it says, "For thy violence against thy brother Jacob, shame shall cover thee, and thou shalt be cut off forever." All right, and we can bring up, all the violent crimes and acts against the tribes, all 12 tribes. We were both oppressed together in this land, in this country. We were exploited. They used our free slave labor, and we built this society up. And to this day, we still haven't been the recompense for it. Jake still to this day crying about reparations, and Esau is entertaining the idea, just to pacify these niggas out here. But Esau ain't about to give nothing to you niggas, man. If they truly gave you what you really deserve, they would have to collapse the system. All right, with the amount of debt that this society is in, already as it is, ain't no way in hell. All right. So anyway, the shame has to, come out. And we laughing about it as he's saying it in joking form, but really it ain't a joking matter. Because the Lord believes that he believes in recompense. He believes in vengeance. The scriptures support it all throughout the scriptures. All right. So hey, because of thy violence, or for thy violence against thy brother Jacob, shame shall cover thee, and thou shalt be cut off forever. And that's gonna happen in the kingdom. Right? After 1,000 years, after you serve us, you're gonna be cut off. All you got to do is jump down to the 18th verse, and it tells you that there's not going to be any remaining of the house of Edom, for the Lord have spoken it. All right, and like it says in the Habakkuk, shameful spewing shall be upon your glory. They feel uncomfortable when they hear Jake comedians, or any famous Jake for that matter, bring up this history. Esau, they'll laugh, but it'll be a nervous laugh, you know, because more Jake they know. There's Habakkuk 2 verse 16. It says, "Thou art filled with shameful glory. Drink thou also, and let thy foreskin be uncovered. The cup of the Lord's right hand shall be turned unto thee, and shameful spewing shall be on thy glory." Because all your sins against the Lord and against his people is being discovered, is being exposed. That's why it says this in Lamentations 4:21 verse 22. As a matter of fact, let me read it in the NLT. It's my favorite translation of this verse. Lamentations 4:21 in the NLT, it says, "Are you rejoicing in the land of Uz, O people of Edom?" Which nobody's currently in the land of Uz. All right, majority of them, they dwell either in Europe or over here in Babylon. All right, and they're in complete rule right now. They're still in power. All right, so we're in the land of Uz. It says, "O people of Edom, but you too must drink from the cup of the Lord's anger. You too will be stripped naked in your drunkenness." You're gonna drink of the cup. "O beautiful Jerusalem, your punishment will end. You will soon return from exile," because we're still captive exiles, right here in the land of Babylon, America. The land of confusion, the land of bitterness, where we're still subject to payments. We're still, work like slaves, subject to payments, still oppressed, still being wearied out. But Edom, your punishment is just beginning. Soon your many sins will be exposed. All right. And you got to constantly get reminded of all the wickedness that your forefathers done, that you still benefit from to this day. This whole system thrived and was built off of what was done to our ancestors. That's the reason why you have what you have right now, even though it's starting to be slowly stripped from you. And now all of a sudden you want to tag along with us, because you figure you're losing out on your blessing. Amalek is pretty much taking everything from you right now. They want the whole pie to themselves. So you figure, hey, we need to get together with with the people of color. Forget what happened, 50, 60, 70 years ago between us. Let's erase that and let's come against the globalists and the international bankers and you know the 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 liberals, the left. Fuck all that, man. All you devils are devils, man. It don't matter if you represent the left or the right. All right, your time is coming, and hey, Eddie's getting ready to say it.
Fuck a nigga in his ass in front of his wife and laugh. That's who they are.
Buck breaking. So he's making it into comedy form. Like he's joking about it, but this really ain't a joking matter. But comedians have that skill of taking things that were really heinous and awful, and make it become amusing and funny, and you know but really it's not really a joke. That's what these devils really did, these things. So you devils definitely got to pay for it. So let's continue.
That's who they are. Now time has come. Now time has come. Lord, it's written in the Bible, nigga, y'all shall become our slaves.
And that right there show you that they all know the truth. They all listen to us and they all know the truth, man. But they gotta be, very tactical, and they might put little bits and pieces in there. They're not gonna go, full on with it. Especially to keep their career, because Eddie, you know, he been in the industry for a minute. Now he ain't never, got to the level of, the upper comedians like Eddie Murphy and all the top guys, but he been around long enough. All right, and he's one of the dudes who was not always known for being PC. So that's probably the reason why he never became as big as he could have. But I still, at some point, I believe he did. And because in order for you to even be a part of that industry and still maintain and have the career that he has, and still get these gigs and all that, he had to at some point sell out, which they all do. But every once in a while, he's gonna drop some gems in, put a little form of the truth in, and this was one of those. And he's always joked about that, but he actually means it. All right, you heard it out of his mouth. Hey, your time has come. All right, your time has come, man, and it even says that verbatim in the scripture. Let's go to Amos 9, and let's start at the tabernacle of David being built, because that's what's happening right now. The tabernacle of David is being built right now, and that's the elect being gathered, from the four winds by the word of the Most High, by the gospel, and basically the church. All right, and right now the church is spiritual. The tabernacle, the temple, it's all spiritual now. All right, that's what's being raised up, the elect, and then eventually the Lord's going to come down, and he's going to turn us into battle axe and weapons of war, and then that's when we're going to go and take possession of all these different nations and their lands. That's what's going to happen next. We just waiting on Yahweh Shai, our big bro, our Lord, and the angels. We got uh heavenly backup. We got heavenly troops that's going to invade. It says that they may possess the remnant of Edom and all the heathen, which are called by my name, saith the Lord that doeth this. Behold, the days come. Like Eddie just said, hey, the day is come, right? Behold, the days come, saith the Lord, that the plowman shall overtake the reaper, and the treader of grapes him that soweth seed, and the mountain shall drop sweet wine, and all the hills shall melt. And guess what? It ain't gonna be us putting in the work. We got bondmen and bondwomen. We're gonna have servants that we possess. That's gonna, do all the plowing. Okay. They're gonna do all the agricultural work. That's why it says in let's go to real quick. Let's go to Isaiah the second chapter. Yeah, this is Isaiah 2:1. And it says, the word that Isaiah the son of Amos saw concerning Judah and Jerusalem. And it shall come to pass in the last days that the mountain of the Lord's house shall be established in the top of the mountains. You know, that's going to be the governing body, right? Which is the Lord's elect, and shall be exalted above the hills, and all nations shall flow unto it. So they're going to come, to us, and we're going to be a light to these nations. We're going to be a nation of kings and priests. They're going to finally learn the ways of righteousness so that the new heaven and the new earth is going to dwell righteousness. That's going to be the standard in the earth. It says, and many people shall go and say, come ye, and let us go up to the mountain of the Lord, to the house of the God of Jacob, and he will teach us of his ways, and we will walk in the paths. For out of Zion shall go forth the law, and the word of the Lord from Jerusalem, and he shall judge among the nations, and shall rebuke many people. And they shall beat their swords into plowshares. So when the Lord comes back, he's gonna have them gathered in the in the valley of decision, the valley of Jehoshaphat, which is over there in the Middle East, and he's gonna judge them. He's gonna put in that sickle. He's gonna wipe out their armies, and these nations are gonna become subjects. All right. The Lord said, sit. The Lord said unto my Lord, sit down upon my right hand until I make thy enemies a footstool. All right. And then they're no longer gonna have power or authority in the earth anymore. The Lord's gonna take that away from them, and that starts by taking away their weapons of war. All right, it says, and they shall beat their swords into plowshares and their spears into pruning hooks. So all your weapons of war is going to be converted into tools for agriculture. So you're going to become workers. All right, and you're going to be the plowmen. You're going to be sowing the seeds and treading the grapes. So we can have wine. So we can have corn and crops, and the land is going to be blessed. All right. Going back to the blessings in Deuteronomy 28 chapter, the first 15 verses. The land is going to be blessed, man. It's going to go back to yielding its fruit. It's going to be very rich, because it's fertile. All right. So we're going to be blessed, man. Blessed is your storehouse. Your basket, your bread baskets. We're going to be blessed, man. The Lord's going to multiply the cattle. We're going to have yayan like crazy. All type of vineyards everywhere, and the nations are going to be doing the hands-on work. We ain't gonna have to. We ain't gonna be the ones putting this work in. Well, we look like possessing these nations, but yet we're going to be doing the work. All right. So this is what's going to go down. We're gonna provide for you the tools, the instruments for it. It says, "Nation shall not lift up sword against nation, neither shall they learn war anymore." All right. So ain't gonna be no more wars. That's why we always say that this is the last woe, the one that's coming, the third woe, that's going to be the final world's war, the war to end all wars. It's going to end in victory for Yahushua and Israel, not these other nations. They all going to get brought down. So this is what they're preparing for right now. So anyway, going back, verse 14, it says, and I will bring again the captivity of my people Israel, and they shall build the waste cities and inhabit them. Because the land of Israel is going to be in ruins as a result of this war. You already see right now with they going back and forth with Iran and Russia. You know, I think Russia just attacked some Israeli jets in Syria. And then the Israeli government simulating missile attacks against Iran, their nuclear facilities. So we already know that the least of the flock is going to draw them out into this war, and that's going to leave Israel in ruins when this nuclear war happens. So these nations are going to be the ones that are alive and remaining when they get grabbed up. They're going to be the ones to rebuild the desolate cities. They're going to clean up the dead bodies. That's what the elites are going to do. That's going to be the first job on the list is to dispose of the dead bodies. All right. Continual employment, as it speaks in Ezekiel the 39th chapter. It says, "I will bring again the captivity of my people Israel, and they shall build the waste cities and inhabit them, and they shall plant vineyards and drink the wine thereof, and they shall also make gardens and eat the fruit of them. And I will plant them upon their land, and they shall no more be pulled up out of their land, which I have given them, saith the Lord thy power. Will never be uprooted out of our land ever again." All right. So this is definitely the final captivity. So let's go from there to Isaiah 60. So you double, hey, y'all gonna be busy, man. Y'all gonna be put to work because we were captives, and we labored, and hey, like it says in Isaiah 14, which we actually gonna get that too. You know, we we basically, we went through it, man. We were I believe it said in the third verse that we're gonna rest from the hard bondage wherein we were made to serve, and it was hard. It was very hard, man. So let's get Isaiah 60, and I'm just trying to figure out where it's at. Isaiah 60, and yeah, I'll read verse 10. It says, "And the sons of strangers," and it's talking about the actual strangers, "shall build up thy walls, and their kings shall minister unto thee," meaning they're going to serve us. All right, these rulers that are exalted right now, they're going to become peasants. All right, and they're going to serve us. All right, says, and then starting with Yahushai, it says, "For in my wrath I smote thee, but in my favor have I had mercy on thee." All right, going back to what he said in the 14th chapter as well. The Lord will have mercy on Jacob and will yet choose Israel and set them in their own land. So the Lord's going to ultimately have mercy on us, even though he brought all this wrath and hell upon us. And that was our fault. That was because of our wrongdoing. We disobeyed his commandments. All right. So it says, "Therefore thy gate shall be open continually, they shall not be shut day nor night, that men may bring unto thee the forces of the Gentiles, that their kings may be brought. For the nation and kingdom that will not serve thee shall perish. Yeah, those nations shall be utterly wasted." So you nations not gonna have no choice. All right, all you heathen, you ain't gonna have no choice, man. All right. So let's go to Isaiah 14. And are you hearing this Haman Malone vocab? Are you listening? I'm sure you watching. All right. Isaiah 14 and 1, it says, "For the Lord will have mercy on Jacob and will yet choose Israel and set them in their own land, and the strangers shall be joined with them, and they shall cleave to the house of Jacob, and the people shall take them and bring them to their place, and the house of Israel shall possess them in the land of the Lord for servants and handmaids." So we're gonna possess these other nations, man. For servants, basically for slaves, right? "And they shall take them captives, who captives they were." So the plowman is gonna overtake the reaper, because we've been the one putting in the work, and he's been gaining the benefits from our labors. All the wealth he got is because of us. All right, us being in captivity. So we're going to take them who made us captives, and they're going to become our captives. Okay. So hey, that time is coming. You're going to be our slave, and they shall rule over their oppressors, and we definitely gonna rule you with a rod of iron. We're gonna rule you, man. Like scriptures say, our hearts shall meditate terror. Hey, that's what. Hey, man. See, right now Esau has the power to label what we're saying hate speech. So we can't even get graphic. We can't, speak in detail of what we gonna be doing. All right, but hey, in the kingdom, we ain't got to worry about that. We just gonna do it. Okay. It says, and it shall come to pass in that day that the Lord shall give thee rest from thy sorrow and from thy fear and from the hard bondage wherein thou was made to serve. All right. So hey, the scriptures back up exactly what Eddie is saying here. Jake laughing at it like it's just entertainment, but y'all don't know that this is in the scriptures. He's saying what we're saying, but he just saying it, in jest. He got to make it sound funny, but really, these devils ain't gonna be laughing. They ain't gonna find it funny because it's gonna be their reality. Okay, they ain't gonna laugh at that. Some of them probably wasn't laughing. I'm sure they wasn't laughing. Let's run it back a little more and let it play.
Gave us new names, gave us job without pay. Would fuck a nigga in his ass in front of his wife and laugh. That's who they are. That's who they are. Now time has come. Now time has come. For it's written in the Bible, nigga, y'all shall become our slaves. What did he say? Say the last shall be first and the first shall be last. And nigga, y'all gonna be I'm here to tell you, I'm gonna keep my foot on y'all neck. Just like y'all did George Floyd. I'm gonna keep the pressure on, I'm keep the pressure on.
Yeah, that's all backed up by the scriptures, man. All right, even David said about how he would have his hands at the necks of his enemies. Psalms 18, and then we're gonna rule over them with a rod of iron. Yep. Psalms 18 and 40 says, "Thou hast also given me the necks of mine enemies, that I might destroy them that hate me." There it is, right there in the scripture, man. This is why they're gonna ban the scriptures soon. They're gonna rule it as toxic, extreme. You know, it's poisonous to the world. You know, and show you how hypocritical these devils are. You here it is. You took over the world with the Bible, and now all of a sudden the Bible is no good. Now that you didn't used it for your benefit, now it has no purpose no more. Now we got to strike it off as evil because it pretty much condemns you, and it shows that you're a hypocrite. It proves you hypocritical. That's why your time is definitely coming, man. All right. Know not thou of old that the joy of the hypocrite is but for a moment. You know, hey, your time is coming, man. All right. No, knowest thou not this of old, since man was placed on earth, that the triumphant of the wicked is short, and the joy of the hypocrite is but for a moment. So let's matter of fact, let me get this real quick, because it was all as long as their foot was on our necks, literally, there was no issue with that. And that's even in the scripture. Isaiah 51 and verse 22, and it says, "Thus saith the Lord, and thy power that pleadeth the cause of his people, behold, I have taken out of thine hand the cup of trembling, even the dregs of the cup of my fury, thou shalt no more drink it again. But I will put it into the hand of them that afflict thee, Esau, and these other nations, but especially Esau, right? Which have said to thy soul, bow down, that we may go over. And thou hast laid thy body as the ground and as a street to them that went over. All right. So you talk about keeping your foot on somebody's neck, or you using that person's body like a ramp and just to walk over them. That's how Esau had it at some point. He can do whatever he pleased to an Israelite. Take an Israelite woman and make a whore out of her, degrade her, you know, humiliate, a muscle bound Jake, and Jake knew his place. So that was the type of power that they had over us, man. But the Lord's going to take that away, and he's already doing it. That's why, like it says in the Wisdom of Solomon, that we're now standing in great boldness. You know, was it Wisdom of Solomon, the 5th chapter? You know, it says, then shall the righteous man stand in great boldness before the faces of such as has afflicted him. So we're bold now, man. So there's nothing you can do. All right, we could say, hey, these jokes that's coming out, hey, what you gonna do? But let's listen to just a little more, and then we'll get a few more precepts and close out.
Now, all I'm trying to say unto my white friends in the room, I'm going to treat y'all real nice when I own you. I'm going to let my white slaves spit cotton at night. That way the sun don't burn you. Because I care about you. You're my property. I'm only going to whoop your asses on Thursdays from 7 to 9 o'clock. I said, what the fuck is your name? Steven! You know that white man proud, he gonna fight it, ain't you? You gonna fight it. I said, what the fuck is your name? Steven! Oh, so you a badass motherfucker. Oh, you can just take this whipping, huh? I said, what the fuck is your name? Shocker! Shocker!
Hey, and one day that's not gonna be joke. It's not gonna be a joke. That's gonna be reality, man. Real life for you Edomites in the kingdom, man. All right, and everything you done against us. Let's go to Jeremiah 30 and 16. And it says, therefore all they that devour thee shall be devoured, and all thine adversaries, every one of them shall go into captivity. And they that spoil thee shall be a spoil, and all that prey upon thee will I give for a prey. All right. And what was done unto us, it's gonna be done unto you. Let's get Obadiah 1 and 15. It says, for the day of the Lord is near upon all the heathen, and as thou hast done, it shall be done unto thee. Thy reward shall return upon thine own head. All right, payback. Let's go to Jeremiah 49 and verse 12. And it says, for thus saith the Lord, behold, they whose judgment was not to drink of the cup have assuredly drunken, and art thou he that shall altogether go unpunished? Thou shalt not go unpunished, but thou shalt surely drink of it. All right, this is for you devils, man. You gonna drink of that cup for sure. You're not exempt from that. All right, Revelation 13, 9, and 10. All right, and we went over this maybe about a few weeks ago because Haman Malone, because he doesn't want to go through this, so if it makes him feel better at night, you know, to break this down any other way. All right, but this is what it means literally what it says. All right, Revelation 13:9 and 10. If any man have an ear, let him hear. Listen up. If you can receive this, receive it. He that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. So a man that gathers people into captivity, he's gonna go into captivity. He that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword. Here the patience and the faith of the saints. All right, and that's what we're patiently waiting upon as the saints of the Lord. This is what we believe. This is our faith that the Lord is gonna bring justice, justice and judgment, and we're gonna sing aloud upon our beds and practice it. All right, Psalms 149, starting at verse 5, and it says, let the saints be joyful in glory, and let them sing aloud upon their beds. Let the high praises of the Most High be in their mouth, and a two-edged sword in their hand, to execute vengeance upon the heathen and punishments upon the people, to bind their kings with chains and their nobles with fetters of iron. You know, the Rothschilds, the Rockefellers, and all those different uh international banking families. It's gonna be some nice shiny hot chains waiting for them. It's gonna be the chains are gonna be sparkling, man, waiting for you to execute upon them the judgment written. This honor have all his saints. This is our patience in our faith. Praise ye Yahweh. All right, and I'm sure there's many more precepts I can bring out. We always go into this, but I had to do this in addition to this bit right here, in which he's been known to touch on this before and other his comedy specials. All right, I don't think he believes this is a joke when he constantly bring this up in a lot of his specials. He knows, he knows and believes that. All right, but he's not of the elect, of course. Being in that industry and he's still bugged out because certain things he do say it be totally off too. He's not all the way in the truth, but they know the truth. So more than likely he ain't gonna make it, but he gonna come back on the other side and he gonna get it right, and he's definitely gonna own some slaves for sure. All Israelites, we all gonna have an inheritance, man. All right. So anyway, Lord willing, this was edifying. I'm give all praise, glory, and honor to Yahweh Shem Shai. And to the next lesson, Shalom.